Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Up Supercast Game Club. My name is Brandon, and I am your host. And joining me today, I have Ills.
If you can't slam with the best, then jam with the rest.
And I got Noah.
Boom shakalaka.
And this week, we played Barkley, Shut Up and Jam, Gaiden, which is a sequel.
Not the original.
Yeah, not Barkley, Shut Up and Jam, because this is a sequel to the video game Barkley, Shut Up and Jam. But also a sequel to Space Jam, and a lot of other things. Yeah, this game, importantly, is canon.
That's a good description of this game. A lot of things.
yeah. This game is canon, by the way.
The first words they tell you.
Yeah, right out the gate. So, Barkley, Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, it was a Patreon pick, and Patreon supporter of the podcast, Kevin, chose this game for us to play. He won the raffle that we do once a round for the game club, where if you want a game if there's a game that you want us to play for the game club, we raffle off a pick every round. So he won. He chose this game. Barkley Shut Up and Jam was released on January 22nd, 2008. Was released on the PC. Was developed by an indie studio, Tales of Games Studio, and was not published. So it's not an official published release game, which is a first for us here on the game club. And interesting because it's like, where do we draw the line? This game isn't an officially published release, but looking at it, it's got a decent following on the internet, right? It technically is a video game, but I think more importantly, I went through a couple of self-checks, and saw, one, it's got a listing on how long to beat, which is what we use to figure out how long games are, and see if they go over 25 hours or not, so we could play them on the game club. Two, it's got its own Wikipedia article. And three, it's listed as a game category on Twitch. So I'm like, it's got all those things. I think, it passes enough checks that it's a well-recognized video game.
You say it's a video game, but you're wrong. It's a VidCon.
True. You're right. The pump would be yelling at me right now. But yeah, this is a freeware game, so you can just download it online for absolutely free and play it. It was made in the Game Maker game engine, like an RPG maker, basically. Mm-hmm. And this game is an RPG where you play as Charles Barkley, basketball superstar, who you may or may not know. It's a real-life man. Played in the NBA for a long time. Very popular basketball player, right?
I thought we already knew this. This game is canon.
That's true. But if you don't know who Charles Barkley is, he's a very popular basketball player who played, I think, mostly for the Phoenix Suns, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And, he was good. And he's, even now, he does analysis and stuff. He's still, around. He was in the movie Space Jam as one of the NBA players that had all his skills taken from him and used by the Monstars. If you haven't seen Space Jam, then I'm sorry. You need to watch Space Jam.
Yeah, if you're gonna play this game, watch Space Jam.
Yeah. It's
definitely heavily featured in this game.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, almost as soon as you turn this game on, why this game is a fan game. You have the Space Jam song, like, right away.
Yeah. On the main title screen, it plays the Space Jam music, so it's like a remix version of it. But yeah, this game. It also, I don't know how people could stream this game on Twitch now, because it would probably get DMCA'd because of that alone. Mm-hmm. But because it's a fan game, a fan project, a lot of the sprites and stuff also are taken from other games. Most notably, Charles Barkley himself, I think, is from Barkley. Shut Up and Jam. Actually meant to check that, but I think that's my best guess. But there's a lot of sprites just ripped from other games, including Michael Jordan, who's in the game, and his sprite is Michael Jackson from the Moonwalker video game.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Weird considering Michael Jordan had his own game. In fact, on his little like text bubble, like Michael Jordan, his face is ripped right from Michael Jordan Chaos in the Windy City. So I don't know why they went with Michael Jordan for his in-game sprite.
Also, what did they
Probably
put?
as a joke.
Like they put it on something else. They didn't just have his face. It's just weird. Like,
yeah, it was his face on like a weird body.
It was like Michael Jackson's with the hat and the whole detective thing.
Yeah, it was all very spliced together.
And then his son Hoops, his in-game battle sprite is freaking Skates from Streets of Rage 2.
Yeah.
3.
Yep.
Streets of Rage 3.
3, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, he's just
very
away
different
from Streets of Rage. which is weird. And but I don't know what his like overworld sprite is, but his in-game battle is just straight up from that. Mm-hmm. Not sure. There's another party member you have, Balthios. Not 100% sure if he was ripped from something. I'm gonna guess he was, but
yeah, I think
he is,
was.
but I can't think. It's probably like an anime game or something.
Yeah, not sure, but there was multiple instances throughout the game where I noticed sprites just taken from other games, but it is
the whole
RPG maker.
The whole sewer section is from Chrono Trigger.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
And one of the statues in the game is from Secret of Mana or Trials of Mana, one of the Mana games.
Yeah, so a lot of reused assets. Obvious to see this as a fan game and not something that they could sell, right? Because not a lot of original stuff. But speaking of, before we really delve into this game, I do want to mention that it was, or it / is, getting a sequel. There was a sequel that was put on Kickstarter back in, I think, 2012, and it had a goal of $35,000. It raised $120,000, and through almost 4,700 backers, and yeah, it basically right now is as of right now, 2021, still in limbo, still up in the air. We last time got an update for the game in July of 2019, and at that time they basically said, hey, we've hit a lot of turbulence making this game. The 2 lead developers who made the first game have left the game, and it's kind of in development hell now. Who knows if it's ever coming out. Sucks for the people who backed it. There are some Cyber Dwarf body pillows that got put out there that they received as rewards. But other than that, I mean, who knows if this sequel will ever come out. Interestingly enough was, here's the title for the sequel, right? It's ridiculous. It's called The Magical Realms of Tra Na NG6G Escape from Necron 7, the official movie of the game, Revenge of Cthulhu, Chapter 2 of the Hoops Barkley saga.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the official name of the sequel, and it was not going to be turn-based RPG. There is a video of some of the gameplay and stuff on the Kickstarter if you want to check it out, and it's was going to be an action RPG. And you walk around and like shoot, almost looks like a twin stick shooter, but like but it has RPG stats, like when you hit people and then the numbers are popping up and stuff.
Well, Hoops does use a gun, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, guess it's never coming out.
I guess I'm like kind of sad for the people who wanted this game, but like, was it gonna be like filled with basketball references like this game was? Because that was the main charm of this game to me.
I think so, or at least it was supposed to still at least keep the same humor and everything. It's supposed to be as ridiculous, but
I don't know, man. I think it would have gone too far away from the original.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. like it would have got too crazy, because there are parts in this game where it just gets too random. Like it's just sometimes it's just not funny, but I mean for the most part it is.
Yeah, there's some pretty cringeworthy moments, but yeah, for the most part it was just for the laughs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean from what I understand, right, with the second game they were at least trying to go with all
original
stuff so that they could sell it, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like I think Ills is right. It would have been a little bit too different for what the people want at least or expecting.
Yeah, I mean, my main enjoyment with this game was how crazy they went with the basketball stuff. Like every time they brought it back to something related to basketball or Space Jam, I was having fun. But like everything else, it just kind of felt like, all right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's the best part is the absurdity of it, and it's the game follows Charles Barkley, who at the beginning of the game you kind of find out that there was an event where Charles Barkley used something called the Chaos Dunk, and the Chaos Dunk destroyed the entire basketball stadium he was playing in, killed everybody in the stadium. And after that, they banned b-ball. They banned basketball. Basketball was outlawed. Nobody could play basketball ever again. And like it's taken so seriously in the context of the world, and it's such an absurd idea, and that's what makes it funny, you know?
Yeah.
Charles Barkley is still holding on to basketball.
This purge that they had, like all the like some agency killed all the basketball players that tried to keep playing basketball or whatever. It's fucking weird but hilarious.
Yeah. So most of the NBA players, most of the basketball players were killed, and Michael Jordan became like the head of the b-ball removal department.
Yeah, and he's basically a traitor.
Yeah, and they're just trying to erase all basketball from existence. And Charles Barkley lives in Neo, New York, which is the post-cyber-apocalyptic Neo, New York. And lives in like an apartment building with just him and his son. And his son's name is Hoops Barkley. And he's training. He's still like training him to be a basketball player, even though it's outlawed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like doing that in secret.
Because basketball's the only thing Barkley cares about. Like his whole world is destroyed after the Chaos Dunk and the Purge.
Yeah.
So he's like filled with guilt the whole time.
Yeah, because it was him. It was it's his fault. The only thing he cared about is gone. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But he ruined basketball for everyone, and it's all he cared about. Now all he can care about is his son in basketball.
Yeah, and for the most part, I think this is like a good thing that this is a part of the story, because it grounds the whole story. Even though it's all this insane shit, it's still like this one guy dealing with this guilt that he did. It's an insane, absurd thing that he did, but it still like humanizes him and makes you care about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Charles Barkley in this game is kind of an asshole. I don't know if he's an asshole in real life like this. I doubt it. But this version of Charles Barkley at least went through a lot of shit, So you kind of can't blame him. He's still kind of a dick, but it's funny. At least part of the humor is how much of a dick he is to some people.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't care. He literally doesn't care about anything but basketball, And as the story goes, other people are like, "Oh, I need help," and he's just like, "No, I don't care about you. Let's go."
No, yeah.
Well, he knows what kind of world he's living. It's a post-apocalyptic world. Everything he's ever cared about has kind of been taken from him or been destroyed by his own hand. So, I mean, you can understand why he has like no empathy for these things. He only cares about the things that remind him of the good days, like when he sees like the sarcophaguses of the old basketball players and remembers, his old friends and basically stuff like that.
Mm. Yeah, it's funny how it's just so humorous because it mixes like dark storytelling with this like just absolutely asinine idea, and and the writing is actually pretty good for the most part. Like, it's just funny. It just because of how absurd it is. I think that's why the humor works so well.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing the game, and at every turn, you're just like, this is so absolutely ridiculous. But you want to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's because it's so absurd, but also because it's centered around, like, when it's, like what I said before, like, when it goes off into these random places, sometimes I don't care that much, but, like, usually when it's centered around basketball, then it's good. It's the good kind of absurd to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of was in the same boat. Like, there was some parts where, like, I was just like, there was like a part later on where you go through like this negotiating meeting between like
dwarves and genies.
Oh, the
dwarves and genies.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't really care about this. And then like the part with the poem writing, I was like, this is funny, but also I don't care about it either.
And the whole thing with the diabetes, like,
well, yeah. But the fact that the diabetes man was in this game was very funny, though.
Yeah.
It felt so out of place, but it was
His whole thing with all of a sudden he was like, oh, I'm strapped to this machine, this insulin machine that's keeping me alive, and I have a superpower where I can take people's diabetes and turn it in, and I have to take the pain. And I'm like, this is so fucking ridiculous. It was almost like a random like side quest in the game, but it was part of the main story where like Michael Jordan shoots hoops with a gun that gave him diabetes.
Diabetes type 2, the uncurable one.
Yeah. You have to go to Staten Island, and then the diabetes
Liberty
man,
Island.
Island.
Oh yeah, Liberty Island. And the diabetes man is inside the Statue of Liberty, and like what the fuck, this is ridiculous. And in that part, it turns into like an adventure game, too.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Where everything you click on has multiple options. They're all it's played up. It's funny because it's not like that for the whole rest of the game. But now all of a sudden, like, you can try to take like a boulder even though you can't move it, or like a door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's like,
and then,
why are you telling me to do this?
Yeah, Barkley's just like, I can't put a door in my pocket. Like, he just like says stuff like that. And there's even a part where you like almost in an escape room where you have to like just inspect things and figure out a small little puzzle to get out.
Yeah.
It's funny. I want to talk about the battle system too, because this game is a turn-based RPG, like I said, but it's actually pretty interesting in terms of the combat. Because when I was first gonna play it, like starting to play it, I knew it was an RPG. That's all I knew about it, and it was an RPG Maker game. And I was thinking that it was just gonna be like some basic turn-based combat, but it really wasn't. They actually put a lot of effort into making all the characters like play differently, kind of.
Yeah,
and,
like
have
each
their
character
own, like,
has their
movesets.
Yeah, they all have each moveset and their like own mechanics. So to execute those moves, like with Barkley, you have to he uses the basketball, so you have to like press the up and or left or the left key together to so he jumps and then let go. So when he jumps up, when you let go of the arrow keys, when he reaches like the highest point to do the most damage.
Yeah, in that case, it's almost like Mario RPG games, right? Where you has like button timing presses that you have to do to do more or less damage.
Yeah, it has some action elements into it. It's not just static.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I mean, other characters have their own unique things too. Balthios has like this Z-Saber, Zauber, I don't know how to say that.
Zauber? I always kept saying Zauber in my head.
Well, he has like a regular attack and then like a 3-part multi-hit attack. And you have to press the button at a specific time 3 times to get the whole combo out. Hoops uses like a gun.
You have to mash A or mash the button, the action button, to make the beam that he shoots out larger and do more damage.
Yeah. Cyber Dwarf has like a fighting game almost mechanic where he has like a meter that runs down. You input different commands. You know, you do punches, kicks, jabs, and then you can do like a finisher move.
Mm-hmm.
And
like
Hoops uses
combos.
a gun. Yeah.
Hoops just uses a gun.
Yeah.
His attacks, I think, are the least like interesting to use.
Well,
Him and,
Vinceborg, you have
Vinceborg.
a laser where you have to aim where your laser's shooting, so you can like hit multiple enemies at the same time. But like you can hit all the enemies, at least like swoop it with like a
Yeah.
a sweeping laser kind
It's super useful, but you know they take that away from you. So
Yeah. Especially those little basketballs that blow up. Like Vinceborg could just like wipe them out in like one attack. Like all of them. Rest in peace, Vinceborg. You'll never be forgotten. Freaking the whole Vinceborg thing was very funny, and every time you fight him, it plays the Blue Dragon boss music, which is funny because that music is so bad.
I like their the dialogue portrait for Vinceborg. Like half his face is Vince Carter, half his face is a robot.
Yeah,
it's like a Terminator like robot too. Yeah, it is funny. And the character sprite for Vinceborg is kind of shitty, but
yeah, like I noticed, like a lot of the sprites and the art, like the portraits, everything is just like very all over the place.
Well, I mean, for the
it
most
makes
part,
sense because it picks like different sprites from different games and things like that. It's just like it just feels weird.
yeah, I agree with you. It feels like a mishmash of different things, and because it is, I mean, and partly I think that's part of the fun of the game, but also like sometimes it's just ugly. Like it just doesn't look right. And one of the things that made me confused about the dialogue sprites or the dialogue portraits, why didn't they just use like the ones from basketball games for most of them? I mean, like for the most part they did, like Barkley Bird and Vince Carter and Mutombo, I guess. But like Jordan was like super weird. I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know why they did either. It was weird. It seems like they could have just like taken like NBA Jam or just any like generic NBA game because like there's character portraits from like all those games.
Yeah,
and they it seems like they even just use them from random games too. And like, yeah. One of the ones
I don't know where LeBron James's grandson was from, but
yeah, I don't either. That I want to mention that confused me, right? Why is LeBron James' grandson?
Don't try to make sense of it.
How old is Charles Barkley in this game?
It's fucking straight. And like he says his age too. I mean, he says his date of birth at some point, or I think it's like part of a stat that you look up in the Spalding building. Like he says he was born in like 80 something or 60 something.
Yeah, I mean the game takes place in 2041.
53.
Oh, is it 53?
41 is when the Chaos Dunk happened.
Yeah, 40. But Charles Barkley was still playing basketball then.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
And somehow LeBron James has a grandson or great grandson.
It's his great grandson.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little weird to see LeBron James in this game at all. Like this game is like mainly centered around 90s era basketball. Why is he in the game? But I don't know. Pretty cool.
Yeah, because you got Jordan, you got Bird, you got Barkley, you got Vince Carter. Then you just have LeBron James. Kevin Garnett is this like a secret boss in the game as well.
Yeah.
So is zombie Kobe Bryant, which feels kind of weird right now to be doing.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of
this game 2008, so.
There's a lot of weird things in this game. I mean, they haven't aged very well. Like Bill Cosby being the ghost dad.
Yeah.
And them using the word octoroon, like that's offensive. You're not supposed to call people that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, the Kobe thing and the Cosby thing, back in 2008, obviously
Yeah, of course.
We didn't.
I'm
know,
just saying,
you know,
like
so.
now it's weird.
Playing it now, yeah, it's like weird. But yeah, Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was like a scientist in this game, though, for some reason.
Mm-hmm. He was a scientist in the Spalding building. He was creating the prototype basketball.
Yeah, the prototype basketball and then it blew up, and then
it blew up because they used too much slamacite. They should have used jamacite.
Oh man, you have to fight like the president of the Spalding building at one point. Joanna Man is also in this game.
Yep.
Yeah, if you've ever seen or heard of the movie Joanna Man, where a dude, basically, I think that movie came out in like 2002 or something, and it's from like a guy who gets banned from the NBA for, I don't know, I haven't seen the movie in years, but he gets banned from the NBA and he wants to keep playing basketball, so he dresses like a woman. He dresses like a woman so he could play in the WNBA, and it's got Vivica A. Fox in it as well, but. Basically, he's in the game, and she's in the game, and she loves Charles Barkley, but Charles Barkley is like, no, I still love my wife, Maureen. Which I meant to look that up. Is Charles Barkley's wife really Maureen? I'll look that up right now, actually. But while we talk, I'm sure it's on Wikipedia. Oh no, it's not. But
yes, it is.
It is? Okay, you found out.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. At least they kept that piece in there. Yeah. Although unfortunately she dies in this game. She's dead. To the hands of Charles Barkley in the Chaos Dunk. Because he wanted to when he first did the Chaos Dunk, he wanted to like show off to Hoops and his wife, I guess. And he ended up accidentally killing everybody. And then except for Hoops. Hoops survived. Because Hoops is a special child.
It's the chosen one.
Yeah, he's the chosen one. This game also has its own like religion in it.
Yeah, this is one of the things I did not care for. It's just weird. Clispade or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it was weird. And they had its own like church, and I think Larry Bird was a pastor at the church.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was weird. Also, video games are called VidCons. Speaking of, those pumps, like, what the fuck? Every time you go to save your game, there's, like, the pumps, like, just talk about video games, but they're called VidCons in this world. Mm-hmm. And it always talks about, like, it's, like, a most stereotypical nerd, like, talk that it could have. It's just, like...
Yeah, I think that's the point.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you Westerners don't understand or truly appreciate a real RPG. You play games like Madden and Halo, or you should be playing games like, and then, I can't even remember, Ark the Lad.
Yeah, Ark the Lad, Final Fantasy games, a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah. There was a company, Square Enix Goya, I think it was. Goya?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, strangely enough, you fight Master Chief in this game.
Yeah, you do.
And Kratos.
Which
is very weird.
It's out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why. It just happens. And they're extremely easy, too.
Mm-hmm. You fight them with one character, so.
Yeah. Speaking of the difficulty in the game, most of it's pretty easy. I only
managed to die in like some quick time event scenes and
the quick time event
cave.
Scene.
Yeah,
and the sugar. Yeah.
The sugar cave. The wall blowing up got me the first time I walked through.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that it restarts you basically right where you started.
Yeah.
Not far off, but I mean, the quick time events. They're ambitious. Like, I did not expect them, but like, I also didn't need them. Like, I wasn't having fun with that. But yeah.
Yeah, it only shows up like what, twice?
3 times.
3 times it was the. Oh yeah. You're right.
It was in the beginning of the train and
the ladder.
The ladder.
When you're jumping up the ladder. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you only have to hit the same button like 3 times in a row or something on the ladder. But yeah. the train. I didn't take the ferry. I took the train. I think there's 2 different ways you can go in that part. But
I took the train.
Yeah,
we all took the train.
Well, who knows what happens on the ferry? If you know, let us know in the comments. Because the game features that part has like a split part, but the game does have like some like optional areas that you can go to.
You go to the ball dimension.
Yeah, the b-ball dimension where like I said, you fight Kevin Garnett in like a tournament, and Kevin Garnett's like obsessed with trying to kill Charles Barkley because of what he did and ruining basketball. And then there's also like a dating simulation part in that area.
Dwarf, yeah.
Yeah, it was Cyber Dwarf, where you date a WNBA player. I don't remember her name. But if you get all the things right, you get like a kissing scene between them at the end, and she gives you Tupperware armor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you guys get the when you did the negotiation thing for the dwarves and the genies? Did you side with like one or the other? Because I sided with the genies, or no,
I sided with the dwarves like all the way.
Yeah, I got the Shrek Mono.
Yeah.
Shrek Mono, yeah.
Yeah, I got the same thing. I mean, the genies were dickheads.
Yeah, that was real dickheads.
I looked it up, and if you side with the genies, you get a wish, and you get a wish from Kazam.
Oh, nice.
So you can like increase like all of your like stats from all your party members by like +5 permanently for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool, but
yeah,
this game's easy enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy, honestly. Even last boss,
you get a lot of money towards the end, or you just buy like a shit ton of items. At the end, I bought like the most expensive item is like 700 gil or whatever the money is.
The chicken fried dinner or whatever.
That's
it was.
just like full health, full mana. Removes stats, cures everything. You're basically a full reset.
Revives all.
Yeah, it revives all. So like anytime like anyone who like once I need mana or like everyone's about to die, just like whoop, everybody's like fully ready again.
Yeah. There was a part where at one point where you get to like find the final gun in the Spalding building.
Oh, yeah.
There's 2 people who ask you for it, and I went to one of those like a Square Enix guy, and he's like, you know this guy's a bad guy, right? So go to give it to him, and he's like, oh, I'll sell it to you for like $25,000, and you're like, there's an option where you just like, no, give me $50,000. So I selected that, and the guy was like, no way, I guess we're gonna fight right now. And then Barkley's like, either hand it over or you die, and then you fight him, and then you kill him, and you get to keep the gun, but also take the $25,000 off of him.
Yeah. I just gave it to the other guy. He gave me a sticker, which was nothing.
Yeah, that was stupid. I saved it before I did that, so I was like, fuck this, I just kept the gun. It was a pretty good weapon.
Good weapon for a little while. You do get a better gun for
yeah, and you lose control of hoops like right after that, so.
It's true. Yeah, and then shortly I didn't even get to use that gun for very long, because shortly after that you get a better weapon for him.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, the game is like we said, for the most part, it's fairly easy. There's really not, like, any grinding to be done, the battle system...
no random encounters, and the enemies don't respawn.
They do respawn in the sewer.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
I did not notice that.
I did. I noticed because I went back to like accidentally, and then I came back to the other screen. I was like, oh, well, I'll just have to clear him again.
Yeah, there's a in the sewer. There's like a boss, but I accidentally went too far ahead without exploring because I didn't know which way I was supposed to be going, and I just went straight to the giant basketball man where LeBron James like tomb was, and like I didn't get to do like any of the other stuff down there. I was like, whoops. There's no going back after that either.
That was actually a sliding puzzle down there. You get some items, but
I did do the sliding puzzle. I did do that. I stopped and did that.
I mean, they're all like early game items. I think one of the things you get permanently increases your health by like 25, but that's it.
Speaking of the items, it is funny that like Ecto Cooler is like one of the healing items. That's good, like 90s throwback. Ecto Cooler was awesome. I missed it. You also have like b-ball shards and stuff that like increase your
brain power,
BP.
I guess.
Yeah. And you have like all the weapons. Each character uses like different types of weapons too. So there's Charles uses the basketball. And
he starts off with like a soccer ball and then uses a volleyball.
Yeah.
Eventually, he gets the power to double dribble, and he can use 2 balls, and he does double the damage.
Yeah. This is pretty fun.
Yeah. I mean, he's for me at least, he was pretty much like my strongest character.
Yeah.
At least in terms of damage, I feel like he was.
Well, at the end, yeah, he was, but like before that, Cyber Dwarf was my strongest.
Cyber Dwarf used to, at the beginning when you first get Cyber Dwarf, if you just do jab a bunch of times, he basically kills like one hit everything.
Yes.
Except for the bosses. And the enemies you fight, some of them are really funny. There's like a giant basketball spider, and there's like a whistle, which is very funny because one of its attacks, it just like, it like huffs up and just does like a quick tweet in your face.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. There's like mechanical Gatorade bottles.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the enemies. I found them to be repeating way too fast. Like, it seemed like there was only so few of them, so I wish there were more of them, but for the most part, I like them.
Yeah. It did repeat. Basically, the second half of the game is pretty much... by the time you get to halfway through, you've seen like all the enemy types, and they just keep repeating.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they get any stronger. I don't think they do.
No, I don't think so.
But
they just throw more enemies at you.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I beat the game. I was like level 13 or something. You know, you don't like get basically every time you beat a boss, you level up. You know, so it is not hard. There's no grinding required, and for a game like this, that's fine. You know, you just there for the jokes and for the absurdity. You know, it's a very overall it's a very good fan game. And I can see why this game got a lot of traction and people loved it, and we're streaming it, making videos of it. You know, it's a good game for that. You know,
it's got some memes. It's very it's easy to mine for the memes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the writing is it's funny. It's just really good, surprisingly good.
Yeah,
like, and all the descriptions they have that really expand the lore of the whole world. Just like. Really, really nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
actually built the whole world around like a ridiculous idea, and it worked, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's super funny. Like, they even like go through like when you go to Proto Neo New York, which is an absurd name, and like it has like negative b-ball energy, which is like radiation from the chaos dunk. And like all the people are being turned into like basketball or having like their appendages turned into basketball. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I really enjoy that when it really centers in on the basketball stuff. Like, I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah, I like that too. It sidetracked a little too when you go down the sewers and there's like a race of like people who turn themselves into animals, and you have to fight like the doctor who is like, you know, doing it and charging people an arm and a leg to like get the surgery.
Which is one of the things that I wasn't like super into, but yeah.
Yeah. It was funny though, because you're just like, they just straight up use sprites of like Hanna-Barbera cartoons down there.
Yeah, some of them,
yeah. One of them, the funniest one to me was like Huckleberry Hound, because you talk to him and it's just this person who's like, he tells you this whole story about, he's like, yeah, my dad like used to like tell me I was no good, and he would just leave me at home all day, and all I had was Huckleberry Hound, so, you know, I wanted to be Huckleberry Hound, and here I am. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You go into a shop and Jabberjaws is like the fucking like shopkeeper or whatever. It's just, when I first walked in that town, I was like, oh, what the fuck is going on? It's funny. It's funny. I would say that I think people should play this game if they just want to like go through and find out for themselves how ridiculous it is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's insane.
Guess we're doing recommendations now.
Yeah. Very much.
Yeah. I guess I'll start with me. So I would say that if you have any interest in what we talk about and how ridiculous this game is, it's worth a playthrough for sure. Because I mean, it's short. It's not. There's not a lot of depth to the RPG parts of it, but it's worth it for the laughs. And it's pretty solid. It's a very solid fan-made game. I would definitely take a look if you're interested. If none of this is interesting to you or doesn't sound funny to you or you don't care about basketball, yeah, then maybe skip it. But
pretty much.
Yeah, anybody else, then yeah, definitely. Noah?
I mean, you pretty much summed it up. You want a game just to laugh about, all about basketball. Some good jokes in there. Yeah. Otherwise, as an RPG itself, I'll be like, oh yeah, there's plenty of other game RPGs you can play if you look specifically for an RPG.
Yeah. Ills?
Yeah, I mean, I did enjoy like all the humor in it, and you have to, if you're gonna play this game, watch Space Jam for 100%. I think the battle mechanics, like we said, are surprisingly pretty cool. It's not gonna change your whole world or whatever, but it's fairly deep for a game of this size and caliber. And the music, pretty good.
Yeah.
Apparently, Nobuo Uematsu did this game, but I can't see. Like, it says that in the credits, but it doesn't say that in his Wikipedia page, so I'm not sure if that's a meme or not.
Probably, knowing this game, probably, but I will say, though, a couple of the songs have a very short loop cycle.
Yes, and it's annoying.
Oh, yeah, the looping is kind of iffy.
Yeah, it just basically resets. Like, there's not like a good loop of the song. The song just resets. I've noticed
for the songs that don't do that, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Which
Battle
I think is most.
Were they not taken from other games? No, they were the original.
I mean, the credits say that the Final Fantasy guy did them, so I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, I looked online to see if it was like a meme, but some sites are saying it's real, and Wikipedia makes no mention of it. So I don't know.
Weird. I mean, the Space Jam, song and the Blue Dragon music are the only two songs in the game that obviously I noticed.
Yeah.
So like the rest of the music I didn't recognize.
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I couldn't put my finger on what they were or where they were from. So
I like the battle music a lot, actually, and it was just catchy, and I even like the victory music. It was good.
It's time to slam a jam.
It's time to slam. It's time. If you want to jam, welcome to the slam. All that shit. It's time to put Charles Barkley, well, not even Charles Barkley, just Barkley. Barkley Shut Up and Jam, Gaiden, Chapter 1 of the Hoops Barkley Saga on the list!
The list!
You can follow along with the list in the paste spin link in the description below, where every episode of the Game Club, we take whatever game we just played and we put it on this list. This list goes from best to worst, and every episode on the regular game, or every episode of the regular Jump Up Supercast, we add a game every single week. So if you want to keep up with the list, you got to make sure you listen to every episode and keep up with the paste spin, because that is where you can see what we're talking about. Let's look at the list. We got to figure out where we're going to put it here. Usually it'd start with whoever picked the game, but this is a Patreon pick, so if somebody has an idea while I'm looking, go ahead and throw it at me. But I'm just gonna try to take a look at the list here and see where I would think it goes. Let's see. This is an interesting one to rank because, one, it's the first game that we were ever putting on the list. I think that doesn't have an official licensed release,
Yeah.
I'm not really gonna hold. I'm obviously not gonna hold that against it at all. It's just interesting that this is the first game of that caliber. But yeah, where would we put it? I mean, we said a lot of good things about it, right?
I mean,
but
it's weird because like even though I did enjoy the game a lot, it's obviously its quality and like overall design isn't exactly. I mean, like you said, it's not an official game, but it is a game, and we have to compare it to like these official licensed games, like AAA games or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a weird like. So like when somebody makes a game like on their own, as like as a passion project, as a joke, just have fun with it and like ride it, even though they know how ridiculous the things are, like things don't add up, like the sprites don't match, like the music loops weirdly. It's like it's not things they focus on. They focus on like the fun parts, like they like to make, like to build on. And it's. I don't know exactly where I was going with it, but yeah.
Well, I mean, you can see the dedication that they put into this
exactly.
Game. And you can see it in the writing, like, and with the humor. Like they put a lot of thought into that.
They had an idea and they really ran home with it, you know.
And like I said, the battle system, like they went the extra mile to make it like feel unique,
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree because I think they could have gotten away with just something that was.
They could just use the default battle system and it would have been fine, but...
Yeah, because people would have been there for the ridiculous, absurd story, but, you know, they went those extra steps to actually make, like, a battle system that was actually pretty decent and unique to this world, you know? So it's worth giving them that credit for, I guess, you know? But how good is it? In comparison to the games on the list. How do you feel
above Drill Dozer?
Above Drill Dozer. Drill Dozer, that's pretty high. Where's Drill Dozer?
That's pretty high, yeah.
150.
Drill Dozer, okay.
I was looking around like 200s maybe, but it feels pretty high.
Damn. I guess
the 200s aren't bad games.
No, yeah, I know. So you get to Disney's Hercules. Damn, silence. Okay.
I was just looking at the list. I mean, I kind of agree with you, but let's see. Yeah, that's a hard one because there's a lot of like pretty solid games in that area too, right? Looking at the list though, putting it that high makes me laugh because it would be above Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is hilarious.
Like Zack Awakening, Mario Strikers Charge.
I don't know. I don't know if I want it above Untitled Goose Game though. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Castlevania Bloodlines.
What about
DuckTales?
God damn it. Okay. What about around DuckTales?
DuckTales. Right? Yeah, like...
That's more comfortable.
Like, what, underneath DuckTales or above DuckTales?
I just said around. I don't know.
I would be okay with putting it above, like, Monster Tale and John Wick X and Apotheon. Even Kirby's Adventure. So, I'm honestly okay with putting it above all 4 of those games. And I guess, conversely, the games below it. Bulletstorm? Yeah, maybe Bulletstorm should move up, but...
Bulletstorm should move up.
Limbo.
Yeah, maybe Limbo should move up a little bit too, but... Yeah. I mean, there's an RPG that's shortly under there, right? Mega Man X Command Mission. And... Like, I'm really okay with putting this above Mega Man X Command Mission, too. Because, you know, it doesn't... I think Mega Man X Command Mission kind of, like, overstays its welcome.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, there are a bunch of games, like, around this area where the quote-unquote flaws or, like, bad stuff about Barkley's game isn't really... detrimental to the game itself. It doesn't really take away from the experience. It just like feels a little weird because of like mismatching and things like that. But whereas like the flaws in these other games like actually have an impact on your experience and playing through it for the most part. Yeah, like a Mega Man X, like the boss fights, the constant like running into enemy encounters, things like that. Just like add a little frustration while you're playing through the game. As an example, I guess. So yeah, I can fit it around here. So you guys
I think Under DuckTales is pretty good.
I'd go above DuckTales, but
okay. Either way, I'm not super fussed.
No.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I guess.
Which
one?
Okay. Well, the full name of this game is Tales of Games presents Chef Boyardee's fucking Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. Fucking chapter 1 of the Hoops Barkley saga.
Hoops Barkley saga.
So, do you want to put that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think to do this game justice, I think we should put that.
Okay. Well,
that's
I'm not
good.
typing that out. I'm going to copy and paste.
There you go. Well, that is going to put it at number 171 on the list. Out of right now, there's 249 games on the list. And it gets 2 lines. So number 169, we got Castlevania Bloodlines. Number 170, we got DuckTales. Number 171, we got Tales of Games presents Chef Boyardee's Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, Chapter 1 of the Hoops Barkley saga. Number 172, we have Monster Tale. Number 173, we have John Wick Hex. And I just want to say that all 5 of those video games are Game Club games. we got a block.
It's been a while since we put games in this block.
Yeah.
We have a lot of blocks, but it's been a while.
Yeah, this is a big block. I mean, the game directly above and below the block also are Game Club games. Shantae and then Apotheon underneath. So yeah, it's a big Game Club block right here. I think I'm pretty good with where we put it on the list. With all that being said, thank you guys for listening. But don't shut off the podcast yet, because if you enjoyed the Jump Up Supercast Game Club, make sure you check us out on your favorite podcast listening service, whether that's iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, or wherever, where new episodes of the Game Club go up every other Thursday, as well as the normal Jump Up Supercast episodes where we talk about games and game news that go up every Monday. And give us a follow, a like, or a share, and feel free to let us know what you thought about Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, Chapter 1 of the Hoop Barkley saga, down in the comments below. If you played this game before, do you want to play it now? If you have played it and you went on the ferry, tell us what the ferry is like, because we didn't get to do that. If you want to support the podcast and choose a game for us, like this game, for us to play, you can do that. We have a Patreon where for $1 a month you get the chance to choose one of our Game Club games every round. You can also join our Discord server, talk to us about games there. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, stay up to date, everything Jump Up Supercast related. And we have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JumpUpSupercast, where we play video games. And come check us out. We play a lot of games. I've been playing. The golf club's going to be back, so every single week play a golf game. As always, I want to thank everybody for listening. But before we go, Noah, we are back to start a new round, and you are first, as always. And why don't you tell everybody what we're going to be playing next?
Well, we're going to take a little break from the PlayStation and play something new. We're going to play Return of the Obra Dinn.
Ooh.
Oh,
nice. I have heard a lot of good things about this game, actually. So, cool. Well, we will play Return of the Obra Dinn, and we will be back to talk about that game on the next episode of the Jump Up Supercast Game Club. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Ills and Noah, for playing games. Thank you, Kevin, for choosing this game for us to play. And just go out there, play video games. Make sure you slam, jam, thank you, ma'am, and be nice to each other.